I import handmade paper from Nepal, which provides me the occasional trip to Kathmandu. Kathmandu is the largest city in Nepal. It's a fascinating place, it's an exotic place, and it's a city that I really love. It's also horribly polluted, super loud, and beautifully chaotic. The street scene, just to paint a picture, the street scene in Kathmandu is like a never-ending carnival and freak show combined. There's throngs of people hanging off buses and hanging off the roofs of buses. There's families of four on one scooter, rickshaws and tuk-tuks and motorcycles weaving in and out of traffic, street vendors, inches from the road. It's very, very chaotic. I have three sons, and when three sons were little boys, I made the decision that I would take each of our boys at the age of 10 on a trip to Kathmandu with Dad. So in 2007, it was our middle son's Owen's turn. 2 years previously, I had taken our son Graham, who's a year older than Owen. And one of the memories I have about being in Kathmandu with Graham was that the Nepali people were fascinated by his blonde hair. And they would stare at his blonde hair, and it was very odd. Graham seemed to like it, but it was a little odd. So now it's February 2007, and Owen and I are going to Kathmandu, and we are staying at the Grand Hotel in Kathmandu. And we get there, we get settled. After the long journey, we take a nap, and that afternoon, we go out and walk around the city. And one thing I observed really, really quickly is that the Nepali people are even more fascinated with red hair. And my son Owen has red hair. And all the people of Nepal have jet black hair. I mean, all the people. So it's very interesting how they see these Americans or Europeans with different hair colors, and they're just fascinated by it. Soon, I conduct business for a few days with my paper makers and such. And then a few days later, Owen and I are going to go for a trek for 3 days in the mountains outside of Kathmandu. And we do that. To do that, we have to drive for about 3 hours outside of Kathmandu. And driving in Nepal is treacherous. There are cows and chickens in the road. There are broken down vehicles. You're driving on windy roads where if the driver veers 8 inches too far, you're going to plummet down thousands of feet to your death. I mean, it's treacherous. It's scary. So we are going to be trekking up to a village called Chisapani up in the mountains. So it's Owen and I, my business partner Sunil, and 2 guides. And we get there, that first day we trek for 14 miles. We get up to the village of Chisapani in dense fog, cold rain, and we stay in what's called a tea house. And a tea house is a very rustic house in the mountains of Nepal or Tibet that's made of wood and stone that provides food and lodging for travelers. Local Nepalis don't stay in tea houses, it's more for travelers. So we stay there and we have local chicken, and when you have local chicken in a tea house, it's really cool because local chicken is 45 minutes before you eat it, a man is walking through 2 live chickens, and 45 minutes later you're eating. So we have the classic Nepali food of chicken, lentils, and rice, and mustard greens. That's what you eat in Nepal. And Roxy. Roxy is local moonshine, which we kept away from Owen. But, so we had this great meal. We're all exhausted after 14 miles of up to reach this village. And after dinner, we climb a ladder up to where we're sleeping, and it's really cold. There's no electricity in this tea house. There is no heat in this tea house. So Owen and I are sleeping on these rustic wooden cots, and we're sleeping with every stitch of clothing we own, with hats on our heads and socks on our hands, because it is just so cold. We wake up in the morning, it's crystal clear, it's very cold. We step out, we went on the roof of the tea house, and the clouds were below us, and all the way around were snow-capped mountains. It was the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in my life. It was just unbelievable. And we couldn't appreciate that when we got there the day before because it was cloudy and foggy. And so fast forward a couple days, we're back in Kathmandu at the Grand Hotel. I had scheduled a haircut that afternoon we got back. And truth be told, I had a haircut in the basement of the Grand Hotel just like 5 days before. And I went down for a haircut. I needed a haircut at that point in time. But what I didn't know when I went for this haircut is that after my haircut, the person that cut my hair gave me this killer scalp massage that just felt out of this world. It was wonderful. So we got back and I'm exhausted from this trek and I want to go down and have another haircut so I can get this head massage. Oh, the other thing is the haircut and head massage cost 150 rupees, which then it's about $2. So it was a bargain. And so we get back. Owen says to me that he's tired. He said, "Dad, can I stay in the room while you go down to the salon and get your haircut?" And I said, "Yes, but please, lock the door behind me, pull the deadbolt, don't let anybody in, and don't leave the room. I'll be back in about 30 minutes." So I go downstairs for my heavenly haircut and head massage, and I come back about 30 minutes later, and I'm feeling great and relaxed, and I have my key, and I unlock the door, but the deadbolt's latched, and like, good boy, Owen, you listen to your dad. So the deadbolt's latched, I knock on the door. No response. I knock again. Nothing. I knock louder. Nothing. I'm starting to think, where's my son? My 10-year-old son? Then I start pounding the door. "Owen, it's Dad. Open the door." And nothing. And I'm thinking, did somebody come through the window and kidnap my red-haired son? Is he dead? How horrible a father am I? One more time, boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking, my God, this is a finite hotel room. He can't be more than 25 feet from this door. Why isn't, I'm making a lot of noise and yelling. And so I panic and I run down the hall, down 3 flights of stairs to the front desk, and I tell the people at the desk, I said, "I can't get in my room, my son is gone, I'm locked out, the deadbolt's latched, I need help, please help." And quickly there are 2 young men, with me, one of whom's got a toolbox in his hand, and the 3 of us run up the flight of stairs to our room. They're fidgeting with the deadbolt, trying to get it undone, and they can't make any headway with that. The focus soon turns to the door's hinges, then they're playing with the hinges. They get the hinges off and the door's open, and I barge in, choking with fear, and there's Owen, sound asleep, exhausted, dead to the world. I was never so happy to see my red-haired son, not a hair out of place.